Hi, Bhavana. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you? Good to see you.
I'm doing very well. Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Most welcome.
A very good evening to each one of you. I noticed that we are live and I am delighted to see many familiar faces. Uh, and also welcome back for our very special webinar. Today's guest, as many of you are aware, our Compassionate Caring series of webinars is webinars in which we invite experts to come and give us a dimension of well-being that is relevant for caregivers. And today, given the times that we are going through, we will be talking about, of course, the impact that COVID has had on us and how is it that music could be relevant given the constraints that COVID has put on our lives. A small introduction to Caregiver Saathi. I notice many familiar faces, but bear with me as many people will be joining us on Facebook and YouTube, and they may be watching this for the first time. So Caregiver Saathi is an ecosystem of well-being and healing for the primary caregivers. Family caregivers of those navigating terminal illness, chronic, or any other life-limiting condition have unique challenges, and we support them through their caregiving journeys and beyond, as caregivers need support even once the caregiving journeys come to an end. Our philosophy is that of empowerment and having a sense of choice. And we believe that if we can create an environment of well-being and the caregiver can have a choice, then the caregiver can have a sense of well-being, not just for the person that they care for, but also for themselves. And it is absolutely essential that under all circumstances, the caregiver as well as the care receiver or the patient are able to lead full lives, not necessarily long lives, but full lives most certainly. How do we do this? Technology has enabled us over the last year and a half that life has been very constrained. Technology has enabled us to be able to conduct these sessions and reach out to many, many people. So we do leverage technology, but we believe in human touch and human connection. We have awareness programs that are conducted both online and offline, a helpline, healing circles where caregivers, agnostic to the condition that they are of their patient and loved one, can come together to share, learn, and grow together. Social media communication, we are present on most of the popular social media handles, and we believe in providing access to relevant information. Sometimes there is just too much information available, and caregivers might need that right amount of information at the time that they are trying to make a decision. And therefore, access to relevant information is something that we help provide. We have a technology-enabled platform, which of course we are revising continuously as we get more and more resources. What have we done so far? The resources that we have built include an app, a platform, a website. We have created programs that we run mostly online these days, but we can run them offline as well. We have an app that I would encourage all family caregivers to download and use, because that will help you create the time and a sense of well-being so that you can create the time for self-care and attending programs like this. We have a community. I would encourage you and those of you who have caregivers to encourage your family members, caregivers to join that community. You may have had a caregiving history, or you may be a caregiver today. You can join the community and support others who are in the same journey right now. We believe very strongly that storytelling, sorry about that. Storytelling is a powerful way of building human connection. Gentle Warriors, or Conversations with Gentle Warriors, is a way of communicating caregiver stories. There are many people here on this call that I know have been a part of our Gentle Warriors series. These are conducted on video every Wednesday, and we also have a provision for those of you who may not want to be identified with the story. Sometimes some stories are difficult to tell. For them, we have our podcast, which is Caregiver Diaries, and you can tell us your story and we will share it via our podcast series. We are running a second season on our podcast. Would love to hear your feedback about the series. Compassionate caring is experts telling us how we can create a sense of balance between caregiving and looking after oneself. This webinar is one such. So while this is as much for caregivers, it is also for the ones that they care for, maybe even well-wishers, any person today. Caregiver coaching is the one-on-one coaching input that caregivers might need, not just for caregiving, but also for the rest of their lives. For example, somebody might need coaching to be able to balance their careers, to be able to ensure that the other members of the family are adequately taken care of, and so on. Family counseling is absolutely essential. Those of you who may have seen our last webinar will know that family counseling has become absolutely critical, especially during COVID as well. And when there is some kind of, but not necessarily illness, sometimes family counseling can be a very powerful method for recalibrating relationships and dynamics that can get impacted within the family. We also have a volunteer-based respite care program, and those of you who are interested in participating in our organization can do through many ways: by joining the healing circles or support groups, by telling caregiving stories, yours or someone else that you admire and respect, by helping spread the word in person and on social media. I would encourage you to follow our pages on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and help us spread the word. Volunteer with us. There are many, many things that we are doing, and we are a significantly volunteer-based organization, and your time is absolutely valuable to us. We are dependent on donations for funds. So if you can raise funds or donate, we would be very grateful. There are youngsters who have been a part of our internship program, and we believe that startup, healthcare, in the healthcare space, social development space can be a powerful learning ground. And some of our interns have had challenging but very, very meaningful assignments. We've had many interns who have come back. There are some on this call as well who have come for their second round of internship. And I feel personally very, very proud of not just their contribution, but the fact that they have felt good enough to want to come back. Of course, we need referrals in as partners, hospitals, and other organizations, and you could participate in that capacity too. Very quickly, there are 7 elements of well-being that we consider. And today's session, for example, will be around 2 of these elements, and I will talk about them shortly. At the very core of an individual is the physiological, spiritual, and psychological well-being. And in terms of our interface with the world is the social well-being, financial and legal well-being, the alignment of our life and work purpose, and our unique contribution to the world through our creative expression. These 7 elements contribute to our overall well-being, and when there is an imbalance in these elements, it can cause stress. Unaddressed chronic stress leads to mental health issues, and building resilience through practices of mind, body, and soul can be essential for emotional mastery, because long-term care involves not just physical, but also emotional resilience. Some admin announcements for today. We will spend the next approximately now 50 odd minutes regarding the topic of the day and its implications for compassionate caring. There will be a conversation, a question answer session, and we will look forward to your feedback and suggestions. Regular admin announcements. By now, everybody is a Zoom or a webinar expert, so you know that keeping your end muted is helpful. Please minimize the background sounds. For the question answer session, of course, you will be invited. Should your camera not be stable, please keep it off. We are recording this session. In fact, we are live as well. So we will be live till the point for the question answer session. During the question answer session, we will not be live on this session. We will refer to this for future webinars, and we hope that you will give us feedback so that we can better these offerings. With that, it is my absolute delight to once again welcome Dr. Tara Rajendran. Welcome, Dr. Tara. Would you like to say hello? Please unmute yourself.
Sorry, I just didn't realize I was speaking on, and then I realized now that I'm muted. Hello, guys, and team Caregiver Saathi. Thank you so much, Bhavana, Mona, Nabia, for this opportunity to come here again, once again. And the work Caregiver Saathi is doing is extraordinary. I have witnessed it myself, and I think this is a need of the hour. I mean, I have been knowing Caregiver Saathi before pandemic as well, but I think in pandemic it is. I think these are tumultuous and unprecedented times, and I think a platform to address the issues of the mental health issues and all the kind of problems of the caregivers, and being a companion through their journey is very important. So I wholeheartedly appreciate Caregiver Saathi's work. So thank you so much for being there for us. Yeah.
Thank you for that. There is such a long list of Tara's achievements, and she's quite a celebrity. I noticed that she has been featured on multiple television platforms, etc. I do think of her as a friend as well, and I do think of her definitely as an ambassador for Caregiver Saathi. My dog is very excited too. I'm sure you can hear her. That said, I love the fact that you have been able to integrate your professional qualification, which is that of medicine, oncology, with that of your creative expression, which is playing the veena and music. And you are creating, by virtue of this intersection, a whole new world and a whole new reality of awareness among patients, caregivers, and anybody else who is impacted in terms of their well-being. So I relate with that at a very personal level as well. And while your accomplishments are on the screen for everybody to see, I will not go through them, but I will move on to you and ask you one question.
Sure.
I am assuming that you resort to music for your well-being.
Right.
But as someone who is a diligent music student, that can also feel like work.
Okay. Oh.
Does it feel like work ever?
Uh, well, I don't think so. At least at this point, I don't think so because um, so I've been trained in music as a child. I think from age 5, I have been with music, and I did my academic musical training. I hold a bachelor's and master's in music. Right now, I'm pursuing a PhD in music. So some days, I think, while growing up, particularly if there is a test, practical or theoretical in music, perhaps on that days maybe a little bit of stress. But I think at this point it is no more. I don't tag music as a work related or a stress related thing. In fact, it is something, a medium, a conduit for me to express myself and find myself. I think it helps me uh, in every realm. If I'm dealing with stress, anxiety, or something of that sort, any of these mental health issues, I resort to music as a companion, as a friend who holds my hand. So yeah, yeah, I don't find it as work. Yeah.
Fantastic. I am launching a poll for all the participants here to help us understand who is in this session. So you may see a set of questions. Please respond. Your responses will help us understand who's in the room today. And you also get a sense of who else is here. All right, half of the population has answered. May I request you to quickly respond? All right. So I'm going to put up the results for you all to see. Can you see the results?
Yes.
All right. So we have many who are active caregivers, will be caregivers, and some who have been caregivers as well. Thank you for that. And I have a few more questions. Let me just see. All right. So we have a few questions for each one of you. Can you just respond to these questions? That's a good idea, Tara. There are many music lovers in our room today. Fantastic. Almost everyone, very high percentage of people have responded. Another 2, 3 to go. Thank you very much. All right, so I am just going to take another 10 seconds and stop the polling. And here we are. And here we have responses, an equal number who say they have had a mental health condition. The largest, very high amount of music listeners on a daily basis. So here are the results for all of you to see.
Amazing.
Can you see the results?
Yeah. Wonderful. Oh my God. I don't think I had to, present so many scientific details because everyone knows music can evoke emotions. Music had an effect on
Correct.
emotions. Awesome. Okay.
So people seem to know, and maybe you can modify.
Yeah. Wonderful.
So it looks like a very aware audience.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And with that, I will hand over to you, Tara, for you to take a call and take us through your presentation.
Awesome. So, our topic, relevance of music within the constraints of COVID-19. So first of all, I want to make sure, am I hearing okay? Bhavna?
Yes.
Okay, and slides are okay? Can you see it properly?
Yes, very good.
Perfect. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the takeaway message and then work backwards. So I'm sorry, I think there is some sound in the background. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Okay. So the take home message after this session is to music passively if you're at home and if you are doing your household chores or writing or anything of that sort, keep the music in the background playing. So for example, like dicing vegetables, cooking, writing, washing clothes, doing the dishes, and just let it be there in the background. Okay. Now, okay. And for example, if you're actively listening to music, so let us try with a minimum 20. I mean, I saw that, a lot of you are listening to music 1 hour or 1 to 2 hours or more than 2 hours. So that is brilliant. So this is for someone who is not listening to music like on a daily basis. So let us start with a minimum of 20 minutes twice a day. Look, like maybe like in the morning 20 minutes and evening 20 minutes according to your convenience. And let's try this for around 4 weeks, because in order to find an impact, or in order to find whether it's creating an actual impact, we need a minimum of 4 weeks, and then observe and then notice the impact of music on your mental health, and then adjust the duration accordingly. So as I've seen people who are listening to music like around 1 to 2 hours, I think try expanding the duration of listening to music. Perhaps while you're sleeping, if you are able to, if you can, then play music, some soothing instrumental music in the background, or whatever music you would prefer in the background, and observe the if it has an impact, and then adjust it accordingly. Okay. what is that magic playlist? I've been asked by several people that, Tara, is there any magic playlist that contains like a particular musical series that would help me out? So here is my answer. My answer is that yes, there is. So that is any music that you find the most connected with. So this could be a music that you grew up with, or a musical genre, or a music which you recently found amazing. But what I'm trying to say is I'm giving my suggestions to expand the repertoire, your musical collection. Okay. So it is like trying cuisines. Okay. The thing is, we all have had Indian food and, while growing up. So for example, recently, if we are visiting a Chinese restaurant or Mexican restaurant and figuring out, oh, momos are so delicious, right? So now that's your new favorite. I mean, along with your Indian food. So just like that, your magical list, your magical playlist has to be expanding, and it must have a large repertoire of music, right? So explore world music and expand your playlist, and give exposure to. So maybe there are, there is an Iranian classical music out there which you have never exposed to, and then when you found out, oh my God, that is so soothing. So I think make some new, observations and about your likes and dislikes. So I think expand your repertoire of playlist. Now coming to that, what all are these genres of music? There are several kinds of classical musical genres when it comes to India. I'm going to expand on all of this. So if you are coming to the classical music, there is South Indian Carnatic music, there is North Indian Hindustani music. So India has two major classical musical genres. There are ghazals, there are devotional music, there is Bollywood, of course. Then there is instrumental, which is divided into classical and folk. So classical, when it comes to Indian classical, there is Veena. In Veena, there are many kinds of Rudra Veena, Saraswati Veena, Mohan Veena, and there is sitar, there is sarod, there is violin, Carnatic violin, Western violin, Hindustani violin. There is Western classical music, like for example, like piano, harp, guitar, cello, viola, flute. And when it comes to folk, there are plenty of regional, variations in India. So many of folk instruments. There is, in the last 2 decades, an expanding a surge of independent music, and there is rap and there is hip hop. Actually, if you think about it, hip hop is a musical genre that is very much has an amazing rhythmic and lyrical expression. So I think that is also, I mean, I personally find sometimes I do listen to hip hop, and it's very inspiring and uplifting. Okay, now coming to Indian classical music. So as I said, there is South Indian / Carnatic, North Indian / Hindustani, and South Indian classical music is predominantly with the languages Malayalam, Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Sanskrit, and North Indian would be Urdu or Hindi. And most of both of these Indian classical music in general is based on the concept called ragas. Ragas is nothing but a framework of notations, or in physics like frequencies. And in a particular raga, if there is a composition, that composition, musical composition, has to be within the ascending and descending pattern, or that paradigm of musical frequencies. Okay, so now it comes to what are these ragas? So my suggestions for you. So right now, if you think about it, we have a huge digital platform. It's not like 1970s. We have if you want to listen to music, if you want to know about music, there are plenty of digital platforms and internet. Like there is Spotify, there is Wink Music, there is if you don't have Apple Music, YouTube. If you don't have anything, you can just Google something and MP3 download. You will get like several websites where you can freely download these music. So these are my suggestions in Indian classical music rags that that is said to have in our musical Indian classical music textbooks that have said to have an emotional impact which is joyful and happy and uplifting. So these are, and also when I initially said, ghazals and any of these Indian music, be it devotional or bhajans or Bollywood or ghazal, all of these music is predominantly based on ragas, or in one raga or a mixture of ragas, but they are based on this melodic framework. So I will tell you some of these. So rag Yaman / Kalyani. If you are a Bollywood enthusiast, there is this Sanjay Leela Bhansali's movie Padmavat. There is Ek Dil Hai, Ek Jaan Hai, and in that particular music, this is just an example. I think almost all of Sanjay Leela Bhansali's movies will have one Yaman composition. So that goes like this. तेरे इश्क के हर मकाम में, हर सुबह में, हर शाम में एक रुतबा है, एक जान है, दोनों तुझ पे, हाथ तुझ पे, दोनों तुझ पे, हाथ तुझ पे, दोनों तुझ पे कुर्बान है. So this is Kalyani. So there are plenty of instrumental and vocal, classical bhajans, all of these. So all you need to do is go to any platform, for example, YouTube, Rag Kalyani Bollywood, or Rag Kalyani or Yaman classical, you'll get the music. Okay. Now coming to Shud Sarang, all several, like a plethora of Bollywood music is based on Shud Sarang, but I'm going to give you a classical piece here. So there is this music called, it's a bandish. It's called Ab Mori Baat. It's a wonderful piece set in Shud Sarang. And also Shud Sarang and Brindavani, which is coming in the list, which has a romantic essence, romantic / joyous. Ab Mori Baat man le pihar, man le pihar, मैं जाऊं तो बेवारी वारी 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 अब मोरी प्रेम पिया मुख सोट ही बोलत बिनती करत मैं तो हारी 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 अब मोरी बात. That's Shud Sarang. And Bahar, there is a wonderful piece. I mean, if you just Google Rag Bahar, there will be like, or any of these rags, there'll be 100 to 1,000 musical playlists, like 30 to 40 minutes, or even like quick 4-minute musical pieces. Bahar, there is a wonderful Sarod piece by Ustad Ali Akbar Khan Saab. And if you think about Hamir Kalyani, wonderful composition. It's again a bandish. लट उलझे सुलझा जा पालमा, लट उलझे सुलझा जा पालमा, हाथ में मेरे मेहंदी लगी है, हाथ में मेरे मेहंदी लगी है. लट उलझे सुलझा सुलझा, माथे की बिंदिया बिसर गई, माथे की बिंदिया बिसर गई, अपना हाथ लगा जा बालमा. That's Hamir Kalyani, and there is Brindavani, there is Desh, there is Vande Mataram, the most beautiful our national song is set in Rag Desh. There is, so if you would like to have a screenshot of this or take a picture of this slide, please feel free to. All of these rags are fantastic and uplifting, so please listen to them if you are doing your chores. Keep this music in the background. If you wish to have like a quick 4-minute piece or 40-minute piece, all are available on internet. Additionally, my Oncology and Strings is the globally first ever lecture concert series to advocate about music therapy. So as part of that, I'm also lending free, absolutely free MP3 on Saraswati Veena clippings. So you just go to this website, and there is Oncology and Strings, and below which you have downloads, and you can freely download Veena clippings as well. Okay, so see, yeah, I have mentioned that I've been trained as a young girl in music, and then I have been performing, and then I academically did my higher education in music as well. But even today, every day I'm exploring music. Every day I wanna, it's like every day I wanna explore new cuisines, right? So in this lockdown, these are the music I explored, and I found. I mean, I think like even yesterday I was writing something, and these music were playing in the background. So one is Iranian classical music, very, very soothing. Absolutely, I think it does have this Sufi essence, but maybe this is what I interpreted. So it has a Sufi essence, and I found I'm getting transported or transcended to a different world. Really beautiful. And the second one is a Western classical music piece, which is Chopin, which is a composer, his Nocturne. But this is not really uplifting, I think, or joyous, but it does have a slight pathos, sad undertone, but it's a gorgeous piece. Again, Nouveau Bianche, and this piece is a piano piece, which is just beautiful. It's just so enigmatic and gorgeous. Second one is, and I think fourth one is River Flowing by Iruma. Iruma is the composer. It's a piano piece, and it feels like when I close my eyes and listen to River Flowing. Again, feel free to take a picture or screenshot of this. When I close my eyes and listen to this music, I feel that I'm in an esplanade or a riverside and sitting, and literally there is a river flowing. I can listen to that, that beautiful sound. And then Mozart Moonlight. That's a very quick piece, very fast, very rhythmic. Very, very fast and very, very uplifting. And these two Indian classical music musicians I found, I was just so happy, delighted to find them on YouTube, because their work, they have a playlist with all these, most of the ragas. And Muhammad Aman, he's doing a wonderful job. He has uploaded so many of his riyas, alapans in his YouTube channel. And Ronkini Gupta, and she also has a YouTube channel, but she also comes on Instagram live twice a day, and she's practicing riyas, and she's doing riyas. And when I'm reading or writing something, I keep her Instagram live. And recently she did on Rag Marwa and Rag Ahir Bera, very gorgeous. So discovering these music was such they have joined my magical playlist. And there is Ghazal by Hariharan. It's a very rarely sung piece, which is Patta Patta Bhuta Bhuta. It's one of the most gorgeous. It's again set in Rag Shudd Sarang. Yes, so it's all available free on YouTube, and also in all the Spotify, etc. Okay, so patients. So as I said, these are testing times, and there are several people out there in intensive care units of hospitals. So for them, I think listening to music in headphones or earphones will be really effective, because in India, I haven't had heard of these anecdotes, but in the US, I had a friend who was a pulmonary and critical care specialist who walks in the ICU with a moving portable speaker of music, and he plays one patient to another this music. And it's I think that's very very thoughtful of him. And I think in India maybe it wouldn't be possible maybe. So perhaps in that case, listening to music in your own headphone, and obviously playlist is in your phone. And patients who are under isolation in houses, so for them, I think if you there are several people who have been trained in music in their childhood, maybe like for even if it's for a single day, brush it up and embrace your art, be it sing, and if you can sing, we are not doing it to impress someone, we are not doing it for anything, nobody is kind of judging us. So just this is for yourself. This is for increasing our tenacity and resilience. So embrace your art. So, and there are many people who, attended a piano class when they were 5 or 7, and then they still have the piano, but in a corner, dusted. So dust it off, take it in your hand, play at least for, as I said, like 20 minutes per day, or even 5 minutes per day. That will have its own impact. Yes, I mean, play music loud if you can, if you're at your homes and while you're doing your chores. Again, this is like, if you are trained in vocal or instrumental music, whatever, for whatever time period, embrace them today. Get back to your instrument/art. Music/art helps express yourself better. So as a musician, primarily, I would definitely advocate for music, but at the same time, I'm also a writer. So writing any form of art. So maybe in the audience, there are musicians and dancers. So do that. Dance your heart, dance it out. Or if you are a stone painter, if you're a, I think even a photographer or gardener or whatever you can, whatever your art is, whatever your form of artistic expression or creative expression is, embrace that right now. So even in the US or advanced countries, there are several universities that started with, to form a community where weekly once they meet and do the creative expression as a team. So I am part of Stanford Writing Medicine team. So they only started it during the COVID. Even they are realizing at this tumultuous times. So these are absolutely free. So on every Saturday, 10:30 to 11:30, there is this writing session, and they will give a prompt, and you write, about whatever that's come into your mind with the topic. And I find it really cathartic. It's really meditative for me. So it's been a year I'm attending. So anything that is artistic, or I mean, if you would like to know about this, just Google Stanford Writing Medicine, you will get access to that. So anyway, so my point being, embrace your artistic outlet, whatever that is. Okay, now coming to a New York Times article, which is published on April 8, 2021. So Mount Sinai is a hospital which does, I think, leading program which has a music therapy incorporation. So Mount Sinai has also recently expanded its music therapy program to include work with the medical staff, many of whom are suffering from post-traumatic stress from months of dealing with COVID. So post-traumatic stress can happen in anyone, not only the ones dealing with, as a frontline workers, but also caregivers. Okay, so dealing with COVID, with live performances offered during their lunch hour. It's not just a mood booster, which is like musical interventions. It's not just a mood booster. A growing body of research suggests that music played in a therapeutic setting has measurable medical benefits. So one of the radiation oncologists at the same program said that those who undergo the therapy seem to need less anxiety medicine and sometimes surprisingly get along without anxiety medications. Okay, now is another study humanizing ICU care. That was with incorporating music therapy in ICU care. Receptive music therapy to reduce stress and improve well-being in Italian clinical staff involved in COVID-19 pandemic. That also show, the results seem to confirm that in emergency situation, it is possible to put in place a remote music therapy supportive intervention for clinical staff exposed to highly stressful situation. And you can see the results here. Before musical interventions, you can see the tiredness, sadness, fear, worry, you can see in the blue columns, and in the mustard yellow column, you can see post musical intervention. So you can see the significant reduction of tiredness, sadness, fear, worry in people. Functions of music under lockdown. So this is, again, saying the importance of musical interventions in a tough time like this. Another study, music listening. So these studies are published in one of the most premier medical literatures, peer-reviewed literature, scientific literature. Music listening predicted improved life satisfaction in university students. So what I'm trying to aim by, these screenshots are that in any population that is affected by pandemic, the stress of the pandemic, be it students, be it frontline workers, be it caregivers, all of them, music has, has an impact. So within personal level, you can see the underscored sentences. Within personal level, life satisfaction was positively associated with music listening and negatively associated with watching TV videos and movies. I think we can relate to that pretty much in these days. Okay. How does music influence the human brain? An important study published in 2001 said that, there are some music, like as a musician, and also like when you listen to music, I have had situation when a particular segment of the music playing or listening, my eyes get welled up, I cry, and sometimes I do get chills running down my spine. So this study, the authors did a study on these musicians while they were experiencing those chills of euphoria, and found out that this music, that particular period of that moment of listening to music, activated the same reward systems that are stimulated by food, sex, and addictive drugs. Now, music and emotions. So I think this picture will be too complicated, so I will explain this here. What they're trying to say is, like in our brain, there are structures that induce emotions, right? The real emotions. And those are also the same structures that are modulated by music. So that explains why music can evoke emotion. Second one is that the depression and pathologic anxiety, both of these are due to a partial dysfunction of a specific brain structure that is also said to be modulated by music. So that also explains why there are musical interventions that try to reduce, that are in practice, that try to reduce depression and anxiety, and how music works in reducing anxiety. So again, these are many studies done by people all across the years I have mentioned. If you would like to screenshot it, please. I'm just highlighting the most important aspect of this. So when you are tachycardic, when your heartbeat is high, when you're stressed out, your heartbeat is high, your respiratory rate is high. So in those times, when you listen to music, when you will experience that your anxiety is reducing, right? Your anxiety is alleviated. And why so? Because at neurophysiological level, music reduces anxiety through its impact on autonomic nervous responses, which is controlling the pulse rate and respiratory rate. Yes, the same thing. And there is a stress hormone called cortisol, so that reduces when you listen to soothing music. But if you listen to electric, that kind of music, perhaps rock music, and cortisol increases and stress level increases. But if you're listening to a soothing music, yes, the anxiety will come down. Okay. Now, music and hormones. So as I said, there's the same thing. There are happy hormones, endorphins, that increases when you listen. I mean, that gets secreted into blood when you're listening to music. And there is, the central analgesia, the pain reduction is explained by dopaminergic system as well. I think these are like too complicated, so I'm simplifying it in a non-scientific way. So if you would like to have these details, please take a screenshot, and the yellow one is marked as the author and the year of publication. So if you put it in Google, you might even be able to get the entire paper. So in 2013, a study conducted that evaluated all the 400 research papers on the neurochemistry of music, and that review said that playing and listening to music has clear benefits for both mental and physical health. Music was found both to improve the body's immune system function and to reduce levels of stress. Listening to music was also found to be more effective than prescription drugs in reducing anxiety prior to surgery. Again, like I have quoted the screenshot, this is one of the most prestigious journals in science, not only in medicine, Cell. So you can read the paper later. So is there any difference between music versus sorry, Bhavna?
I thought I'll just, yes, hi. I know that you have so much material.
Yeah, I think I'll cut it down.
And you would like to take us through all of that. But I was very keen that in the interest of time, we look at a couple of questions.
Sure.
And, when you sang earlier, I could feel a sense of calm in my body. And while, yes, there is a lot of theory, and we trust you to be the scholar that you are. And if you are saying that, yes, there is a connection, we believe you.
Okay.
I would love for I would love for people to ask their questions. We do have
Sure.
some questions like, how is music therapy a formal way in India? Is it an approved um, therapy?
Yes.
So
No,
that's
no,
the
it is
first
not.
question that I think.
Okay, okay, awesome. So no, music therapy is an established medical profession in many countries, including the US, UK, etc., but not in India, because we do not have, so like MBBS or BDS, you need that course, training course, right? So we don't have a music therapy training course. Neither we do have, an Medical Council of India / National Medical Commission accredited music therapy programs anywhere in India. There are diploma programs, but none of them are accredited by the government of India. So hence we don't have any accredited music therapists right now in India. So no.
Yeah. So I have a little bit of a challenge personally. So I'm going to request that Nabia, who is over here. Hi, Nabia.
Hi, Bhavana.
All right,
Hi.
Nabia, can you come online and can you help read out the questions so that Tara can help address the questions, because I need to attend to something. And Tara, I'm going to miss the lovely Veena that you are going to play for everyone. But I am certain that I will come back to this recording to listen to it again and again.
Okay.
You have on many occasions triggered for me a desire to learn classical music, a desire to know music more. So I am so grateful. Whether or not there is science behind the healing, if I go by instinct and what my body says, I think music makes a difference. And we are grateful for you to have spent the time with us today.
Thank you, Bhavana. Thank
Nabia?
you for inviting me.
Yes, Bhavana.
Nabia,
So,
will you please ask the questions? Thank you.
Yes, definitely. So I'll start with Pinakin. Yes. So he has asked the question. It's like, which raga especially helps in healing?
Uh, so as I said, what impacts, which music will impact you has a lot to do with your personal experiences with the music as well. So for example, if I suggest a particular raga, so for example, raga like Puriya Dhanashri is something really sad music, sad raga. So for example, if I'm listening to the music when I'm with my family on a vacation and having a great time with my family, and imagine years later I'm going away from my family for studies or something, and then I'm listening to the same rag. If you think about it, rag Puriya Dhanashri is sad in its own, but when I listen to Puri Dhanashri when I'm away from my family, I'll feel really good because I associate my good memories that I shared with my family while listening to Puri Dhanashri than to the intrinsically what that tune relates to me or connects. What that intrinsically is, what the emotion of the raga in itself. So it's a little tricky question. So I don't think from a perspective of a physician and a musician, in a scientific perspective, I won't be able to suggest like this is going to heal, because for example, like if you're having fever and I'm giving you paracetamol, I mean that will reduce your pain and your fever. So the thing is, paracetamol is a drug that has been under clinical trial, and then it has come out into the market since a long time, so we know it's kind of like good enough. We have scientific literature to back it up, but for music we don't have, unfortunately, really that much of a scientific literature. So I think as a scientist perspective, I wouldn't be able to suggest that way. But all I can say is listen to a large, genres of music or ragas, and whatever that connects with you, that makes you the most, listen to that. I think even the person or slash patient slash individual preferred music is the best therapy. Yeah.
Thank you, doctor. And another question, like,
Mm-hmm.
how do you classify Yanni? So, live at the Acropolis, something, Acropolis.
I didn't
So,
understand that question.
yeah. So, I'll post that question
Okay.
again. And then,
Okay. I'm so sorry. I didn't get the question.
yeah, this is the question. I posted.
No, Nabia, no, I didn't get the question. Maybe I'm so sorry.
Can I add my question?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Basically, I've been listening to Yanni music long time back, and I was very much inspired with the music that Yanni played. It was kind of an orchestra music.
Okay.
So, can you classify that in a particular raga or anything? Maybe not now, then later you can listen and you can come back.
Yeah, sure. I think I'll do that. That'll be the best. I'll listen to it and then come back. Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you
Thank
for the
you.
question. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And the next question is, how can I manage the anxiety, like of my pulse? Something he is asking.
Sorry,
So,
what? Nabia, what?
how can I manage the anxiety, like through listening to the music? So,
See, the thing is, when you listen to music, when you are in anxiety, I think there are multitude of factors. And if it is hormonal, I mean, in a perspective of endocrinology, your stress hormones come down when you're listening to a calming music, and there are some of the hormones like endorphins, which are happy hormones, that increases in the blood. So that also kind of helps in alleviating the anxiety. And there are the kind of, as I said, autonomic nervous responses, like reducing the heartbeat, reducing the respiratory rate, etc. So these are the signs we know as of now. With anxiety. And also, as I said, there are brain structures that partially causes the dysfunction. I mean, the dysfunction of these brain structures leads to anxiety. So music is also modulated by these structures get modulated when you listen to music. So that could be the same neurological pathway for both the inputs. I think that's the reason. But these are the hypotheses we have yet. But we are music therapy and the neurochemistry of music is an expanding avenue of research. So with more advanced research only, we'll be able to give any confirmatory or conclusive rationale behind this. Thank you for asking the question.
thank you, doctor. Thanks for your answer. And like someone has asked, like, interested to know more about music and dementia, because his father who has dementia, so he's very interested in listening to music. So he needs some kind of advice from you to know about how to connect music and
Sure, absolutely. So there are various scientific literature that mentions the in dementia, I think music reduces, helps in the symptom management. So I think if I can get the email ID of this person, maybe I can share that. But in a perspective of which means music to play, I have already mentioned that is like whatever your father grew up with and what he connects with. If he likes classical music, that way. But I think with the scientific part, I'll be able to provide all those literature that is present as of now. So if we can have his email ID, Nabia, can you please help me out with this?
Yes, I will send it to you, doctor. And so please send that like notes to us as well, so that we will post it on our website, so
Sure,
that people who are in need, they will access to it.
Okay. Thank you for the question. It's very important.
And the next question is music therapeutic for the ALS patient population?
Eldest.
ALS population.
ALS.
Yeah.
Yes, I think, yeah. There are therapeutic music therapy interventions in ALS specifically, but I'm not too sure whether that is there in India, because in other countries where music therapy is an established health profession, there is a accredited, like for example, there is a doctor treating cancer, right? So that, like that, there is a music therapist who sits on the bedside and then plays this particular musical intervention to the patient. So I'm not sure, since India do not have a music accredited music therapist. So this clinical music therapy for any diseases and also for ALS will be a little challenging. But does it exist? Yes, it does exist. Yes.
Thank you very much, Doctor. So now we can open the forum for participants. If you have any questions or like you need any clarifications, so you can ask Dr. Tara. So anybody in this
and also, can I just share one video with all of you, if possible?
Yes.
Okay, that will explain the the difference between music and music therapy interventions. So I'll play first this. This is a video that. Now, Bia, tell me if you can listen to this.
Yes.
Okay.
I can hear.
Okay.
Well, having a preemie, they're born unstable. It's an unstable world, and it's a roller coaster every day. So anything that's going to give him more stability is fine with me.
This is Pam Bellick of the New York Times. Andrea Zalkin gave birth to Hudson only 26 and a half weeks into her pregnancy. His early weeks are spent mostly in an incubator. But here at New York's Beth Israel Medical Center, Andrea isn't just waiting for her son to grow and strengthen. She's using music, a specially calibrated song, and some instruments played by a music therapist to help calm and stabilize her baby and create an environment that may help his development.
The remote ocean disc replicates the whooshing that Hudson heard in Mama's womb all those months.
And a new study of 11 hospitals, including Beth Israel, shows this kind of responsive music therapy can help lower a baby's heart rate and breathing rate, increase oxygen absorption, improve sucking behavior that's needed for proper feeding.
I was like, Hudson, what's that?
And help a baby sleep better. All of these things are important to help premature babies develop.
And then we're also providing this womb sound as well that we're entraining to his respiratory rate to help stabilize that.
In an isolate, the sound is actually, it seems like it would block out noise, but because the sound bounces off the walls, it's much louder inside. And the sounds aren't necessarily pleasant with everything clanking around. But out here, he's listening to my heartbeat. He's listening to instruments that sound like heartbeats. The noise that he hears, because his hearing is so sensitive, is a huge part of his environment. And that's something that I can't change without music therapy. I can't do anything about that if he's in there all the time.
When an infant, particularly a premature infant, is on their own, they have nothing to acclimate their development to. You know, they're premature. They were supposed to be in the womb where there's a soundscape, there's the whoosh, there's the heart, which makes a rhythm.
The therapists also use a special drum called a gato box. Some hospitals use recorded music, but studies have shown that live music is optimal because it can be adjusted in the moment.
We teach this technique on pediatrics as well, in trainment. It's pretty well known in the field of music therapy now because we're finding even more than the perfect song or the perfect musical instrument to play with someone doesn't mean they follow you, it means you follow them.
And at Beth Israel, music therapists ask parents to choose a favorite song, whether it's a lullaby or not.
I grew up in the Catskills, so...
Okay. And one more. Nabia, do we have time? Just 2 minutes?
Yes. Yes, yes, doctor.
Awesome, awesome. So what this video says is that, so there are babies who are born prematurely, right, before the time, stipulated time. So what happens, you keep the babies in the neonatal intensive care unit, NICU. So when they are away from the, so when an infant is inside the mother's body, what are the sounds that it is acquainted with? One is mother's heartbeat, like lub dub, lub dub, lub dub. And the second one is the whooshing sound of amniotic fluid. So the fluid which is in the baby is, you know, encircled with, this fluid is kind of constantly, you know, moving around. So there is a whooshing kind of sound. So this musical, there are two musical interventions what they showed. One is a gatto box, where it's a wooden box where you tap like 1 2 1 2, that emulates the sound of mother's maternal heartbeat. And the second one is an ocean disc that emulates the sound of a whooshing amniotic fluid, mother's mother's body. So what is this? This is a disc where there is metallic beats. So when you kind of swirl with this slowly, the sound it makes is kind of the whooshing amniotic fluids sound. So the thing is, when the baby listens, so when the baby is in NICU alone, away from its mother, premature baby, so it will have that, you know, that increased heartbeat, there will be tachycardia, it will be really stressed because it's away from its mother, right? So when you play this music, it will feel that, okay, it is still in the womb, I'm comfortable. So the researchers show that when the music therapist plays this clinical music therapy interventions, ocean disc and gatto box, the sucking reflex has increased. The baby started sucking more, you know, in normal way, because previously it was reduced. Second one, the heart rate came down, respiratory rate came down. So I'll also show one more video.
The fetus hears the mother's heartbeat 26 million times before the baby is born. So with this gatto box, we can actually recreate the heart sounds. Yes. And she's very responsive to rhythm. The gatto box is actually a drum, but we use it without the mallet as a box. And we try to entrain to the baby's heart rate so that we create a rhythm for the suck. Much like if you went to the gym and you went on the treadmill and you played music, you would entrain to that beat. It would help you work out. The rhythm would support your movement. We use it without a mallet because it would be too jarring. You'll notice it's a kind of quiet sound, and it's enclosed, much like the baby would experience in the womb. She's so sensitive to tone. We expect the heart rate to go up a little bit in the transition. So we saw that at the beginning. It was high, 189, 190. But then very soon, the baby was stable, transitioning into from quiet alert to almost a sleep state.
Okay, awesome. So that was that. So that part is clinical music therapy, which is there only in the countries with established music therapy as an intervention. They have their own music therapists, they have degree programs, and once they get the board licensing, they go back to hospitals and practice music therapy. Therapeutic is the one I was mentioning, that when a patient or an individual listens to music in their headphones, that is an example of therapeutic music therapy, which is kind of passive. Okay. Yes, and there are examples of, you know, the impact of music therapy on anxiety. Actually, I had on dementia as well, but then I deleted because I thought, you know, it might not be relevant, but okay, I'm going to share that with you. Yes, so you can see, you know, the straight lines, the blue turquoise lines are previously, like before music, how the stress was. And you can see the dashed line, which is going down. I mean, the stress is going down, the mental distress is going down. Yes, so music therapy significantly lowered patient anxiety and distress. Yes, and also, yeah, very important, culturally centered, individualized music therapy. So that is what, which raga has the ability to heal. I think that is dependent on which raga is resonating. I have several, there will be an inherently sad raga, and somebody will interpret it as a very moving and beautiful, and that energizes and uplifts them. So in that case, I think, yeah, it's highly, so it's like food as well. If I say this particular food is really nutritious, I mean, there are many other cuisines which has, great nutritious, healthy food. So it's about your choice. So what I did initially is giving you a large repertoire of music, and, explore them. I think whatever that resonates with you, whatever music that resonates with you. And yes, even post-surgical cases, post-surgical recovery music is an aid. So I have mentioned this earlier with pain and anxiety, how music could be a way to help. Yes, that is that. Okay, Nabia, do we have any other questions?
Yes, Harshita. So if you are here, you can ask that question to the doctor directly. Harshita?
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
Hi, Dr. Tara. I just wanted to ask how long should the music therapy be given to the baby before it could wean off from the sound? So if it gets adapted to the music, then won't it be difficult for the baby to adapt to the normal environment?
No, I think, as I said, these are for premature babies, right? So they'll be born, like, for example, if you say, I don't know, 28 weeks, then 36 week is the thing, right? So maybe for that long, because after that, I mean, the baby will get naturally, I think, acclimatized to the situation. But for premature babies, it will be extremely challenging. Not extremely, yeah, a little challenging. So that's the reason. But how long? I think only during the NICU or the NICU admission period, because once they're out of it, they have their mother, that's kind of like maternal bonding. They will start. The main issue is in premature, NICUs. Sometimes mothers will not be allowed. So even the feeding will be done through, a nurse will be, you have seen in the video, right? The nurse will be giving the milk bottles. So once they are out of NICU, they're with their mother, that kind of maternal baby bonding, and, all of this will, I think, naturally come back to normal. But the thing is, why don't you give me your email? I will send you the research paper, and you can actually read it out, how they did the research and how long was there and all of that.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Okay. Thank you, Harshita. And are there any questions?
Nabia, can I ask one?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, hello, Dr. Tara.
Hello.
Myself, Pinagin. I was diagnosed with motor neuron disease, or ALS, as you know. And basically, I heard that you are doing a PhD in this field. Is that correct?
Yes, PhD in Indian classical music. Yeah.
Okay, so basically, I'll tell you, I was listening to Miss Veena Srimani. Have you heard?
Srivani, yeah.
Yeah, so basically, I was listening to her regularly on a regular basis on Facebook many a time. And now I have you, Dr. Tara. So I would like to know if you would like to do a medical, as in a clinical trial of music therapy affecting patients in neurological disorder. And yeah, sorry.
No, sir, please continue. Sorry.
Basically, the only reason is earlier when I used to listen to positive affirmation, it was not as effective. But when there was a background music in positive affirmation, the effect was much more. So maybe if you want to do a clinical trial or a research on that, I put myself before you, and we can always do a trial and we can bring music therapy for these kind of disorders in India.
Wow. First of all, thank you so much, sir. That's I'm so grateful and appreciative of your kind words. Yes, actually, we were working on neurological disorder. First, we were thinking of doing a clinical trial on epilepsy, but there were kind of technical issues. But then COVID came in. So I mean, the thing is, if we are going into a hospital, we did not want to let them infect with a new infection with it. So that's what, like, we were like staying away from hospital trials. But yes, in the post COVID world, definitely yes. But sir, would you give your email ID to Nabia so that I can connect with you, and if I can share some of the music or some of the literature on the music and its impact on ALS. So I can do that. So if you could give the email to Nabia, that will be helpful. And thank you so much for the question. This is very important, and I'll keep it in my mind. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you. I have already shared my email ID with Nabia.
Okay. I'll
thank
you.
You,
yeah. Nabia will give it to me. Yeah. Okay.
She got it. I'll give it. Yeah.
Okay. I'll just quickly take a screenshot as well, so I'll get the copy. Okay. Awesome. Okay.
Okay. So thank you very much, sir, for the question. And are there any other questions from this team so that you can ask Dr. Tara?
I think Pinakin sir had asked this one question: can listening to binaural beats on YouTube positively help people with neurological disorders? I'm not sure at the moment, because I can only say with any scientific evidence. So let me get back to you on this after reading a bit from the scientific literature. And yes, I'll get back to you. Like, anyway, I'm emailing you, so I'll answer this question as well after reading.
Can I add to it? This basically, I am the founder of Healing M&D India, and we have a team of almost 172 members as of today.
Okay.
So basically, I've been researching a lot since last 1.5 years regarding these binaural beats, then music therapy. You won't believe that Stephen Hawking was also taking music therapy, who was diagnosed with MND. So that's a very good option. And I am also looking forward to connect with you and maybe help you in your research and get myself cured in whichever way possible. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
And thank you, Nabia.
Thank you very much, sir. Thanks for your presence too.
Any instances where, I think Kamna Gupta had asked this question, any instances where music specifically has aided in recovery of a patient? So in medical literature, when we give out evidences, we give out only based on a large number of patients and not based on one patient, because when I say if I am ill and when I listen to a particular music like Nata, which is my favorite, almost every day I listen to Nata, I may recover. But the thing is, that's highly biased, because that's my personal choice, and I have, almost listened to it for the last 20 years. So there is a bias. So when you look into the literature, whatever I have mentioned, right? So these studies, like be it medical students, be it clinical staff, all those studies, be it those premature babies, that has been done in a statistically significant number of patients. So that will be like any number above 15 or 30. Okay, that depends on the study. But anyway, a large number of patients, long story short. So once you see the impact on these large number of patients, only we'll write out this paper, after the trial, and we'll publish it. And a lot of people, a lot of experts will look into the study, will figure out if it's the right way to do it, is there any bias and everything. Once they are completely sure of, and when they give a green flag, this paper gets published, and it will be visible for all of us it's out there publicly as a medical literature. So that question, like any instance where music is specifically aided, these are all instances, these are all musical pieces that help like 60, 70, 100,000 patients. So yes, so that is how medical literature comes out, only as a large number of patients, not as like one person, because we need to avoid bias. So yes, definitely.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No other questions, right?
No other questions. Yes.
Okay. Then I'm going back to no. If you have any other question, you can email me. I think you know what I'll do. I'll put my email here.
Email ID. Yes, sir.
Okay. I think that will be easy. Okay. Correct. And I'll also post my Instagram ID if anyone wants to DM me there. Okay. I think we are out of time, Nabia. Do we have time to play music?
Yes, please.
Yes, please, because you have taken so much effort. We would like some music, ma'am.
Oh, awesome. So, let me put my Shruti. Okay. I'm first going to play this piece called Hamsanadam. Okay.
think we all need to clap for her. It was a great reciting.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
I'm clapping.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you very much, Doctor, for this wonderful session.
Thank
So
you so
we
much. I
all
appreciate it.
enjoyed such an insightful session, and we could see the connection between the music and our life. So,
Yeah, absolutely. So to the audience, if you have any more additional questions, please feel free to email to me. And also Nabia, send me all the emails, okay? Whomever had asked the doubt clarifications.
yes.
Okay. And also send me the doubts also. I mean, I shouldn't mix and match with the questions. Huh?
Yes. I'll send you that Excel sheet with the
Okay.
name, email ID, and the questions.
Okay, awesome.
So,
Perfect. And my music is there on my website and on my YouTube channel, free of cost. Yeah.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, everyone, for your
Thank you,
participation.
everyone. Thank you.
And we will be reaching out to you for the next session, Doctor.
Sure.
Can I add one last thing?
Yes, sir.
Basically, it was very soothing music. It was like food for the ears. I think your middle name should be Musical Dr. Tara.
That's very sweet of you. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. I'll connect with you on email.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Take care. I'll connect with you over an email. Yeah.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.